Hello, welcome. It's Lotus with Art of Sacred Embodiment. Here we are now officially standing firmly in the Aquarian age. So I did a video, I think 2 days ago, or yesterday, that dropped us into this threshold that we crossed over, and the empowerment that the Aquarian frequencies and consciousness is getting from Pluto. There's going to be a lot that you can tap into about this trajectory that we're moving along now. And I really wanted to talk a little bit about love, light, and life. So whenever I do any of my opening prayers for myself or in-group meditations or activations, what I always begin with is calling forth the Mother, Father, God, Goddess, and Divine Source, love, light, and life. For me, as we move into this next cycle, this next age, we're coming out of an age of a 25,000 year cycle, all right, going back to the 1 AD. So in the East, in India, they call these cycles yugas, and they're anywhere from 24 to 26,000 years, roughly. And they each carry a new consciousness. So for us, we're talking about it astrologically, from that specific lens of the age of Aquarius, coming into the age of this new consciousness. Everything is going to have shadow and light. In the light of the new consciousness of Aquarius, we as humans are going to be invited, pushed, nudged, and really called forth to begin to embody higher attributes, higher qualities, higher traits, higher frequencies, higher ways of expressing ourselves than we have been able to access through thousands of years in the past, due to both the density and the level of healing that needed to take place, also having to do with the lower light quotient. So I don't usually talk in terms of ascension. Most of all my work is connected to the ascension timeline, and you can learn more about the ascension lens specifically in some of my older videos. If you were to go into the older videos, you're going to see more about that specifically. But I do want to connect that to this present time, because this is what's happening. And we are ascending, our entire planet is ascending, and the cosmos, the universe, is also going through these massive upgrades that we might be able to say that it's ascending as well. I don't know that for sure, if that's the term that we would use for that, but that is what is supporting this evolution right now on this planet, and many other planets that are indeed also going through their next level, their next trajectory of higher consciousness. So we want to keep remembering everything is consciousness, everything is frequency, everything carries light, And that light is either going to be in a high light quotient, meaning there's going to be a lot of light, or that light is going to be condensed by density, solidness, that the light is not really perceptible or able to, to actually emanate. The relationship piece of this becomes the grounding force for me, or one of the grounding forces for me in everything that I share about. The relational intimacy, that ability to come into relationship to whatever experience we're having, whatever situation, people, place, things that we're connecting with. And this includes this entire process of our awakening journey. It's by coming into a relationship, by coming into the deeper levels of intimacy and connectedness, that we actually begin to shift our consciousness in a more steady, conscious, rapid pace. Now, what's happening is happening for everybody. If you're listening to me and many others of us who speak about this topic, then you are probably more consciously working with or inviting in a deeper understanding of what it is that is taking place. It is that understanding, it is that invitation, it is that opening to receive that brings us into relationship with the process. The process of interacting, being impacted by, receiving, being upgraded in the sacred technology that is our body, by the frequencies, the light, the consciousness of the information that is coming to humanity. The age of Aquarius supports the quickening of this process. It enhances the right conditions that will birth this, meaning birth this higher experience through our systems, through our bodies, through our hearts, through our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, behaviors, and through other relationships then that we have in the rest of our physical life. So we've been in preparation for this. 2012 is sort of the marker when this energy really started becoming more widely received, more deeply understood. That was really when I moved on to the ascension awareness, but it wasn't until 2003. I think it was, no, what am I saying? 2015, 2016, that I actually grokked, right, where the ascension experience landed in me with light language. Before that, since 1996, my trajectory had been very different. My awakening process had been very different. It had been really rooted in the ancient Shakti traditions of India, the yogic teachings of the Divine Mother, the path of surrender, the path of the feminine expression of the Kundalini through a deep embodiment practice. And it all becomes connected, right? So we're all moving towards the same upward trajectory, which is actually an inward trajectory, no matter what we're calling it. The key is to be in relationship with it in order to actually, experience the amazing wonders of our own awakening of consciousness and opening of the heart that takes place. All of life is undergoing this right now. Some people are experiencing this process through really difficult, hard ways, either physically in their bodies or in their life. Life is kind of butting up against many of us in order to shake us and rattle us and awaken us to start paying attention and start listening within and connecting to a more expanded expression of reality. Others of us, there's a level of deeper unconsciousness, oblivion. It just isn't in their soul path, let's say. They're just going along their life and they're comfortable and they're content, and that may very well just be what is written in their divine blueprint, right? That we all come in with what our true expression and what our true path is going to be. Our human job is to align the ego construct, right? To say, yes, I want to engage in this process as a full participant. I want to understand what is happening to whatever degree so that I can anchor and allow transformation to take place through my being, so that I am reborn and reborn and reborn into higher expressions of who I truly am. So I can peel away, right, the layers of the onion. Or so I can recognize that I've been holding myself tight in this bud, like a rosebud that can't open, or that won't open, or that's frozen shut. But truly, it's waiting for all of those petals to just start unfurling, right? And blooming and then blossoming. So two of my, I will say, like my truest totems, so to speak, are the dragonfly, which can be seen as the tattoo on my chest, and the lotus flower. What I didn't know about both of these until I had already moved along my awakening journey for, I would say, maybe close to a decade, was that both of them have in common that they begin in the mud, or they begin in the water, deep underneath the water. So both the lotus and the dragonfly start as a very different expression. And, a dragonfly is sort of like just this little, I don't know, tadpole type creature, right? That's more of a predator, right? That's more of a predator in the waters. And it spends, if I'm right, something like 3 years in this shape and form, as does the lotus in the muddy waters. It spends this time, right, like trying to move up through the density, through the thickness. And we can look at that with both of them. There's this density, there's this thickness, there's this heaviness of a consciousness that keeps us very limited, that keeps us in the dark, that keeps us somewhat blinded. And yet, both of them are drawn forth by the sun. And it might take a long time for them to get there. And as they move through this thicker, heavy density, they are being drawn towards the light. The life force in them has coded them, right? The life has coded them to move towards the sun, to be guided, to strive towards that light. The dragonfly is interesting because as it gets higher and higher out of the water, it latches on to like these reeds of grass, tall grass, and it crawls, right? So it's like moving up. Now it's moved through the water, and then it starts moving up these tall grasses, and it is meeting the sun. It's coming in relationship with the sun, with this divine light emanation, with this being, which is the sun. It's a consciousness that is activating these codes that are already in the dragonfly. And there is this moment of intense metamorphosis. I'm sure it's not just like a moment, but there's this metamorphosis, a little bit like the butterfly in the chrysalis that goes through a complete breakdown, right, of from one species to a next. So it goes through this breakdown and this kind of like rebirthing where it kind of just like breaks open and breaks free of its other body. And it extends the wings of the dragonfly and it opens its eyes into these like crazy fractal eyes, very alien-like. And then it never goes back into the density of the waters. So a lotus does the same thing, right? It climbs through the mud, it climbs through the mud, it makes its way up, finally it breaks to the surface, and it blooms. And it then comes into its divinity, and we could say that the dragonfly like bursts forth into its divinity. This is what we are doing here. We are being called forth through deep, deep divine love by the cosmos, from the earth, to transform from one being into another. And this is happening rapidly for more and more and more people. It's happening for all of life, but we're talking about our human experience. We are being moved along a trajectory that is our destiny. It is our evolution. And when we engage with it consciously through our yes, we learn very, very profound and deep teachings of the light, which is love. And the more then that we can actually receive all of these energies that are coming in and allow them to anchor in our body and support us, right? These are new codes. These are new information that are here to upgrade and update our human development. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All levels of being. It is a holistic process. It is an organic process. And this process connects us then to the greater cosmos. Consciously, we begin to come into relationship with our soul presence, with higher aspects of ourselves, with our galactic memories and families. And we are able then to hold these frequencies. We integrate them into our physical body as holding more light, which is an expression of life. All of organic divine life is infused and is the fabric of love. As we say yes to this, as we come into relationship with it, our journey becomes this sacred path of deepening wisdom, of deepening expressions of love, of the attributes that we are becoming. The more that we do our healing work, the more that we ground and center, allows us to actually take in these energies. If we are running around either unaware, it's not our path, right? Or we're not really doing the deeper work, right? We know that there are things, I probably could be meditating more. I probably could be getting outside with my feet on the earth, hands on trees. I probably could do that more. I probably could be really looking at the places in my personality that I don't love, that I am in rejection of, that I am dividing myself from. I probably could be doing that a little bit more. But this distracts me over here. This distracts me over here. I'm too much in a hurry. I've got too many things that I've got to do. Okay? If that is the choices that we're making, we aren't actually taking in everything that is going to support our process with ease and grace. And, I might be talking here about, oh my gosh, being in love with life and being so in love with yourself or myself and having deep compassion or forgiveness or for recognizing the beauty in everybody that I meet. And if we aren't doing the work, you're going to be like, yeah, right. Right? Or, yeah, that sounds kind of boring. Or it just feels boring because I'm used to stress, because I'm used to anxiety, because I'm habituated in the identification of my being that is rooted in whatever storyline I'm telling myself. So I think that that's just who I am. So the attributes that are going to emanate more light from us, because they're literally going to fill our cells with more light, the biophotonic light It is a biological light in our cells that it has been seen, it has been recorded. The more light that comes into our cells, the more frequency is raised, the more we access higher qualities and expressions of consciousness, hence higher divine attributes and expressions of being. So these are all very real things, and they aren't, oh gosh, that's not going to happen for, another decade or so. No, they're happening now, right? And as we come into this next phase and stage, they're happening now, easier and easier. So my question is, or questions, right? Do you believe that you are becoming a being of light? Because that's really what's happening. I didn't really say that. And as we become beings of light, we become beings of more universal love, of divine source connection and love. We become infused with the divine life force. We begin to, over time, emanate more light. We begin to inhabit, so to speak, our light body. We begin to experience ourselves interconnected to all of the frequencies and consciousness and pulses of life. And we get glimpses and glimpses, and we keep saying yes, and then our moments, the embodied moments that I offer. Those embodied moments, we put embodied moments together so that they're not just moments, they're spans of time where we're living from different levels of consciousness frequency that emanate from love. So do you believe that this is your trajectory? Are you doing everything that your soul is guiding you to do in order to come into a deeper relationship? This is where we're going, relational intimacy. That is the reality that we're moving into within the age of Aquarius. Are you coming into sacred relationship with yourself and with nature and life around you and with others in the organic world? And if not, why do you think that is? What is it that might be inhibiting you, that might be separating you from believing that, trusting in that, knowing that? Is there a fear? Is there a wounding? Is there a resistance? And if so, then you get to, if you choose, to come into that within you and look and understand it more deeply, understand the self more deeply, understand your connection to your soul more deeply, and what is your unique, beautiful path. So this is going to be more of the invitation ahead of us. And the ascension journey or the awakening journey, whatever it is that we want to call it, is inviting us to literally step up, to take more accountability and more responsibility for the true beingness that we are. To be coming into this next level maturation. To be coming into this next level of embodied wisdom and divine expressions that then become our personality as a divine humanity. That's all. I would be really curious. Leave an emoji either in the comments or in the community page. If you've subscribed to the channel, thank you. Please come to the community page and, leave an emoji. I'm going to be putting a couple classes that are going to be upcoming. One class. One is going to be a free Zoom gathering. Questions and answers, people who want to share their experiences, people who are just stepping onto this, people who have been walking this, right? So to start building a little bit more of that group synergy. So subscribe if you feel called. Touch base, say hello in the community, and leave an emoji. Leave a word. Leave how this resonates. Does it resonate? Yes or no? Okay? And I will, of course, be back again with more. So, much love, many blessings. Have an amazing day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And I will see you soon. All right. Much love.